What up, guys? Welcome back. It is a Sunday stream. Dave, sorry to hear that you was leaving. I clocked in a little bit early because I was going to chat with you for a second. But yeah, so it's turned out that my Bengals season is pretty much waning, trash, almost over. Not much really there to look forward to, and here we are going into Pittsburgh today, a game that I still think that they can win. If they win today, that gets them back to 4-6, hanging in there. Pittsburgh would be 5-5, just a game out of the lead. Baltimore's climbing, but I just think that there's so much uncertainty in the NFL this year. It is what it is. Dave, good to see you. Crafty, glad to see you. Also, for everybody, I'm kind of bouncing in and out on ideas. If you see the stream twice, that's because it's on the vertical format too. Hopefully can find a few more people like us. I love my group, but it's never the best thing in the world unless you can find somebody else out there that's a lot like you. Our group is small and pretty fun and consistent, but looking for just a few more folks. So I'm going to run on the vertical today. That's why everything looks a little befuddled. I'm trying to keep it squared away there. Just to kind of get things into perspective today, Joe Burrow is back. He is in the 21-day window, so he's limited in practicing, healing faster than expected. So that is a good thing. But right now, offense is not the problem. Somewhere along this defense, they've got to find some life, find some leadership. They traded Logan Wilson to the Dallas Cowboys at the trade deadline. He wanted out earlier this year. Jermaine Pratt wanted out. Trey Hendrickson is hurt. Shamar Stewart is hurt. I think you're going to see some changes at the end of the season on how we go about getting personnel. Does that mean that Duke Tobin will be gone? I don't know. Maybe. If Duke Tobin's not there no more, I would love to see a GM that somebody like Howie Roseman. I know we're not going to get Howie Roseman, but somebody from that cloth that's really good at spotting talent and diamonds in the rough, put him in a place to win. I just think wholesale changes are going to be made in Cincinnati. I don't know if that's the coaching staff or not, but it's enough is enough. You've got an all-world quarterback, and if you can find a way to protect him and keep him healthy, he's going to go out there and win 60% of your games. BC Jason, what's up, brother? Man, you're just following me around. I see you gaming, and now I see you on my sports. Love you, brother. Can't go nowhere without BC Treasure Trail showing up. And what's up, Ringo? Hello, Dave. Everybody once again. But here we go. So we're going to go in here to Pittsburgh today. That will be the call. Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco, the old men of the NFL, are coming out here to see who can score the most points. I want a shootout. I want to get this up in the 30s and the 40s again. That means my offense is playing well, and that means my defense only needs to make one or two plays above and beyond today. Let's go back to this bend don't break philosophy. If you're gonna score like that, then let's try to do everything we can to hold teams to field goal. Stuff up, plug the middle, stop the run. Nothing explosive on the outside. Let's keep DK Metcalf and these big tight ends in check. Keep everything underneath, and let's try to win with crappy defense, but not giving up so many touchdowns. Game is going to start here in just a second or two. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins absolutely are going to be huge today, but Chase Brown being able to run the ball, especially after his comments was made about the defense. I think he's got something to come out here. He's got to do a little bit better himself. 35 yards rushing. I don't care if you score 40-some points. It's not going to cut it for a number one back in the NFL. I support all channels. Besides, Santa has me keeping an eye on you. Jason, man, if Santa Claus is telling you to watch me, would you tell him to hook me up with early retirement so that I could do this kind of stuff all the time? What's up, Eric? Good to see you, dog. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're probably feeling about the same as I am this year, and that's okay. It's a thing. if everything goes well today and I'm not completely spent after this game, everybody want to come in here this afternoon and check out. I'm going to be talking college basketball as my Indiana Hoosiers are a completely rebuilt team and looking very frisky from the three-point line. We'll take on a very lackluster opponent today, and we will be having I might have to do 2 streams today if everything goes well today, especially if this one gets overtime. Second game is at 5:30. I might go in to do that one, but I might just sit here and watch the second football game too. I haven't decided yet. What's up, Rob? Oh my gosh, Chiefs and Broncos can't decide. Talk about probably the premier game of the week. Denver is playing lights out defense, hurting the quarterback. That's been the one situation where Patrick Mahomes has struggled this year, is when he has too much pressure in his face. Playing at Denver, which is a plus for Denver, but the Chiefs just still have that stranglehold. Can Denver do to the Chiefs what the Chargers did in Brazil? I mean, yes, I think they can. Do I think they will? I'm not sure. That was really the coin toss game of the day, and I felt like the Lions-Eagles was a coin toss game. And we were laughing about it earlier, but I think the Carolina-Atlanta game is going to be a coin toss game. Call it what you want, but that's the way it's going to be. It looks like Pittsburgh will be receiving the opening kickoff as McPherson kicks it back to the left corner. Here comes Pittsburgh on the return, out to the 20 and hit hard there as Williams makes it to the 21-yard line, and the Cincinnati special teams gets down there and does a great job of pinning him in a corner and making a nice hit, not letting him go far. Aaron Rodgers steps out as QB1. Adam says the Panthers are going to stay 5-12. Mark it up now. Bro, I hate to hear that for you, dog, and I miss you, my friend. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Here we go, 1st and 10. Aaron Rodgers is looking to flip it out. He has nowhere to go, goes to check it down. He gets it to DK, who steps out of bounds at the 26-yard line, and DK just put his hands up under the face mask of Joseph Osai, and they do not call any kind of a penalty for that after the play. I'm sitting here watching that. I want to see it again. They're not going to show it again because Aaron Rodgers looks a little frustrated as the defense looked a little spry on 1st down. Puppet, what is up, bro? Good to see you. Thank you. Smash the like, please, and thank you. Anybody new to the channel, please subscribe. Looking to grow. Play act. It's a handoff to Warren. He cuts up through the middle, and he is going to get close to a 1st down. Ball is out to the 29-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 1. Miss Georgianne, good luck to your Steelers today. I mean that because at this point, I don't care if we win or lose. It does not matter at the end of the day for the Bengals. I just don't want to see anybody get hurt. And at least you guys are still over 500. And there is the push. Looks like it's going to be enough for a 1st down as Jaylen Warren, I think, come in and took the snap. No, it was 83. I think that's a Highsmith. A Hayward. I don't know. One of those names in Pittsburgh royalty. All right. There it is. Looking back, Rodgers checks it out, gets it out on the run to DK, and he is out of bounds at the 50. Got a puppet master in the chat this morning. What is up, brother? Good to see you, my young friend. DK is such a big, strong receiver. He's like literally a hybrid. There's the pitch. Warren goes left. Here comes they cut it off the edge, but he still skates forward for about a 2.5-yard gain. Uh, Cincinnati definitely looks like they do not want anybody getting to the outside on them. This last Friday was your birthday, homie. Well, happy birthday. I hope you got something out of the deal other than older. Well, there you go. There's the pitch back to Warren, looking to get the edge. Contain is there. He breaks through. He's into the 30, cutting back across the field. He's got an open lane, and he will be grabbed by DJ Turner right there, all the way down to the 12-yard line. Piss poor tackling, which has been the biggest nemesis of this defense this year, shows its ugly head today. Warren was my fantasy pick for the day. I hate to go against my Bengals, but we just tackle so poorly. The only person that lined him up to slow him down was Turner, and he still didn't get a good grab on him. Trying to tackle him by his shoulders, that's not where you want to tackle Warren. He's a big boy. Big 3-0. Hey, bro, that's great. 30 is great. 30s are great. There's a chip. There's a pitch out to the right. It's going to cut it back inside. Not much there, a yard and a half, and that is Kenny Gainwell. Eric, I would gladly turn back the clock to 30. 30 was one of my favorite years. Good year. Everybody gets a little upset when you turn 30 because you feel like you're getting older. You're just hitting your stride, bro. 30 is just hitting your stride. It is going to be 2nd down and 8. Rodgers back to pass, looking, hits his check down. Gainwell is trying to get to the edge, and he will scamper into the end zone for a touchdown as a linebacker is not going to keep up with Kenny Gainwell. And that is 6-0 Pittsburgh on the early drive. Nobody there to get the running back. Linebacker tries to stay with him, but just can't. He has the coverage. Nobody on that side of the field, and he just runs it in. Down the field in a matter of 4 minutes and 48 seconds, and Pittsburgh lines up for the extra point. Boswell's kick is up, and it is good. Pittsburgh leads 7-0. Gracias, Mitch Georgian. Speaking to membership programs, I've been taking the a YouTube class on basically heightening the membership programs. I'm going to work really hard at putting some good stuff together for both of these channels. I've been taking these classes that are a half an hour at a time or so like that, and just listening to what other people suggest and what different people are doing with those. And there are some really spectacular ideas going to try to start implementing on January 1st. A lot more content will start members only, but going to work into some new areas with the whole program. I think it's probably the best way for us small creators to try to get a grasp and build an audience. And I think I'm going to really me and Miss Alex for sure are going to emphasize it over here. Miss Alex is not able to be around today. Just in case anybody was curious, she's off at a rock concert today. We're going to see how her new schedule looks going forward, and hopefully we'll have some time, if not for game coverage, but for just in general Q&A live streams and talking about the games. We're going to find something to do a little bit more, but her life is about to hit a mode that she can handle again. So we look forward to that. First Sunday I have been off and home, and I couldn't tell you how long. I'm not used to being here on Sundays. It's a very different feeling. Pittsburgh is such a beautiful city, down by the river and such like that. Georgianne, you would think as all the waterways and everything lines up in Pittsburgh, you would think that there'd be more magnet fishing videos and stuff that come out of Pittsburgh. All of the, off the banks of the river everywhere, you would just think that there would be more. Um, but well, the odds of one or more streams per week is really good because there is going to at least, I think that we're going to find a way for at least both of us to be together for once per week. And there's the run back. He will be tackled at the 28-yard line. Good hard tackle. That was Charlie Jones, and he got tackled by Ben Skoranek, I believe, backup wide receiver. And here comes Joe Flacco, just cool as a cucumber. But I think, I just have never seen, anybody with it. I've never seen anything titled Pittsburgh, right? For magnet fishing. Back to you in a second, Adam. 1st and 10, balls at the 29. Let's see how this Pittsburgh defense holds up today. Check down goes out. Good coverage there. That is how you tackle TJ Watt on the edge. And that is a 2-yard loss on the check down. And that is what Pittsburgh does well. Looking to see what went wrong in this play. Flacco goes through his progressions. Nothing was available, but I think he went to the check down a little bit early as 86 was coming open in the middle of the field. And I think he has to hold on to the ball just a little bit longer on that one. 2nd and 11, loss of 1 there. Gets it downfield to Chase Brown again, and he is smacked for a no gain as Pierre comes up and makes a big hit on the running back. +100 cars in the river by the stadium. I believe it. Pittsburgh back in the day, Pittsburgh was a lot like Detroit and Cleveland back in the day. You just don't know what you would find. Polluted waters, everything. But those 3 cities have done a really nice job of cleaning up and looking very, very respectable over the last 30 years. Those cities in the 80s, not so much. Back to pass. Flacco fires it over the middle. It's caught right at the 1st down marker. And that is Yoshivas with the grab. It looks like a 1st down to me. Coming across the middle. And gosh, Flacco just delivers a dime in there. They're lining up to go fast. Back to pass again. Looking. Fires it over the middle to Chase. A little bit low. They went really quick there. I wonder if they thought that maybe that pass wasn't complete. I'm not sure. Joey Porter is on Jamar Chase today. This secondary of Pittsburgh is built to play Cincinnati. The wind is moving the ball. They blow the whistle. 8:18 to go here in the 1st quarter. Pittsburgh with the early 7-0 lead. Chase is going to line up in the slot here. This Pittsburgh defense should be able to slow this team down just a little bit. Usually where Cincinnati gets a little bit over on Pittsburgh is when they get the vertical game going. And Zach Taylor's complaining right now about something. I'm not sure what he's mad about. Having a cake job for the last 6 years, I wouldn't be mad at all if I was Zach Taylor, especially even if I was going to get fired this year. There's the snap, handoff. Chase Brown kind of scampers forward on 2nd and 10. First positive play from the run game today is about 3-yard gain. Make it 4. It'll be 3rd and 6. Yeah, Shamar Stewart, I have a bad feeling that he is going to be a bust. Miles Murphy from last year, I have a bad feeling he is going to be a bust. I have a feeling that the people that are picking personnel are going to be out of a job because our draft picks have been really atrocious in the first and second round the last few years. 3 on the play clock. There's the snap. Back to pass. Flacco has time, fires it over the middle. It's caught. It's another first down for Yoshibas as he is the third read, basically, coming in the backside of that, crossing the middle late and opening up just enough at the first down marker here. Let's watch the play. Chase clears it out for him. He comes across the middle, and there you go. Could that be a pick? Yeah. Tampa Bay up early, 3-0 over Buffalo. Going to go handoff again. Chase Brown dodges one, gets back to the left. He's going to get about 2.5 yards again as he can't get through that secondary, but he is making that first guy miss. But when you're a running back, it is awful hard when the first guy is touching you in the backfield. If you have got to use your best move 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, then you're going to be lucky to hold a 2 to 4 yard average. Bryce Young kicking it already at him. 2nd down and 7. Higgins is in motion, stops. That's offsides. And they hand it off to Chase Brown. It should be a free play. But I think they'll go take the 5 yards and go back with that. But look at that. There's the deal right there. There is how Chase Brown actually got good positive yardage. It was a quick handoff. It was a quick snap and handoff, and he was already attacking the line before anybody could get through it. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 3 opportunity here for a shot down the field. Joe Flacco has 5,300 yards against Pittsburgh, most all time by any quarterback. That's saying something. 14 on the play clock. Chase is in motion. There's the handoff to Chase Brown. He's going to get the first down. He breaks through the line. He's inside the 30, down to the 29. Chase Brown with his first big run of the day. Cincinnati desperately needs a running game to keep Joe Flacco from going to the nursing home and taking big hits. This one here, just a really nice designed run in a small hole and a cutback, and he gets by Patrick Queen. Chase Brown really needs to put up today since he ran his mouth about the defense. Needs to do his job. 1st and 10, balls at 28. Flacco's back, looking down the field, has all kinds of time. There's a hold, so he might as well just throw it away. Higgins is going to take it in for a touchdown, but this one's coming back. Golly. Unless it's a defensive. Oh, it was on the defense. Hands to the face. And that is the touchdown for T. Higgins. Let's go, T. I wonder if they're screaming T in Pittsburgh because I can't hear it right now. Watch T. Higgins' route here as it develops. He just ad-libs, cuts out long. He had a crossing pattern. He had the defensive rookie Jack Sawyer on him in coverage from the linebacker position, and he just turned it upfield, and Flacco nailed it. All right, wind is a factor today. There's the snap. Kick is up, and it is good. Evan McPherson ties the ball game up. Let's go, Houday. Oh, but there's a flag on the play. Can't hear what the penalty is, but are they going to take point? Oh, no. See, don't take points off the board. Carolina with the early 7-0 lead. The Giants with an early 7-0 lead. So they're going to go back up and push out here and try for 2 here, which I disagree with adamantly. This 1 point or 2 points can change the whole trajectory of the game. I don't like it. I don't like it. Don't never take points off the board. They are lined up. I don't like it. Everything in a bunch pattern. If they run that ball, Flacco goes to the outside. There goes Chase Brown. He's going to try to scamper in and nowhere close. Taking stupid points off the board. This isn't college football. What the hell is wrong with you? God, what is wrong? Why the hell would you call that play? You're just, okay, watch this. The ball's at the 2-yard line. Now you have no element of surprise whatsoever because Chase Brown is now taking the snap as your quarterback. Unless you're going to have him throw the effing ball, Pittsburgh's got 9 men in the box. Now they're all coming straight forward because they know that they're not going to throw it. That play has no chance of success. Zero. None. There's no way you're going to score on that. It's especially in a bunched formation like that where everybody's lined up in a blocking position. There's nowhere to go. I'm a Fleur. Listen, Zach Taylor is – I can't argue his offensive game plan, but his game only works offensively when you have superstars on the edge, right? You've got to have superstars. And then it works just fine, right? Then everything is kind of – because the ad lib comes into play and you can go out there and win. But you don't take points off the board in Pittsburgh. That's rule number one. You're going to tell me that point's not going to destroy them later in this game, even if they play well. Now, I could be completely wrong. I could be wrong. But I'm telling you right now, it should be 7-7, and I'm going to treat it as such all the way through. Now, what's really going to make me mad is if they score another touchdown and they continually go for 2-point conversions to make up what they lost and keep failing. Listen, I understand. I don't even like analytics in this situation. Analytics are a temptation factor that, I mean, unless you've got a bang-up play to where you're going to spread the defense, put 4 wide – I would rather you spread the defense, put 4 wide receivers, and move the pocket to give yourself more than one option on a play than to bunch pattern and let your running back play QB. It's just what did anybody watch the Washington-Miami game today? I'm telling you that those are both very capable teams, that there's something wrong with their coaching right now. I saw Mike McDaniel. I saw both coaches try to lose that game and wrapped up inside the 20. That's Jaylen Warren on there. Jules, number 37, whom I don't even know, makes a great tackle. Here it is again. Flacco moves out to the right. Nobody's looking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're all in the box. Everybody's in the box. Throw the ball. There was no chance of success there. He ran right into the thick of that defense. All he had to do was run towards Flacco and then throw it. The game this morning, horribly coached. I can't understand. I thought it was bad in Cincinnati some days, but I was appalled at what I saw earlier. McDaniel tried everything he could to give that game away. All right, it's 1st and 10. Pitch back. There goes Warren to the left. He's got a hole. He cuts back. 2-yard gain on 1st down. You know what? But you had to think, Crafty, that those two teams, right? Marcus Mariota has a little bit of an it factor as a quarterback. He can make things happen. And it was just bland and blah, and nobody wanted to win. I mean, nobody wanted to win. Take the points. Oh, there's a pitch out. Kenny Gainwell's got a lane. He's going to be short of the first down, maybe. Nope, I think they got it. They gave him the first down. This defense is slow to react. And that's why these little scat backs like Kenny Gainwell that have that incredible first step do super well against it. Atlanta has quickly tied Carolina with 3:33 to go in the first quarter. I wish we were tied here in Pittsburgh. Play action. Rodgers looking down the field, steps up in the pocket, has time, fires it, incomplete. Intended receiver was Washington, who looks like a right tackle instead of a tight end, number 80. But no, that game earlier today was gut-wrenchingly horrible. It was boring. There was nothing to it. Good coverage downfield. Battle was looking for Metcalf. Rodgers had the whole right side of the field to work with here, and just decent job. 2nd down and 10. Bunch formation here. Looks like that's got to be on the off. Oh, they're going to call it encroachment. He had a second and 10, and you decide to charge the right tackle. That's Myles Murphy, who needs to get a jump. He's got to start doing something with that high draft pick that we spent on him. You're going to notice that I'm just going to be very disgruntled about my own team. I'm ever positive that they can play better, but this has got to get better now. This defensive formation looks really whacked. Back there's the handoff and comes in quick and misses Warren on the first hit, and he gets close to the first down. Now you've got 3rd and short. Murphy is in on the tackle this time. 3rd and 2. 3:23 to go left here in the first quarter. Yo, Crafty. Yes. It's how that thing works. Every time I turn it off, it turns back on myself. Sorry to hear that. All right, 3rd and 2. There it is, the handoff. Gainwell, who's not a very strong 3rd down back, is going to be blown up and a yard short of the first down. That is a big boy there, number 98. I guess is that TJ Slayton. It's 4th and 1. They're leaving their offense on the field as Mike Tomlin is getting in a little bit in gambling mode right here. I think they're going to see if they can draw them off sides, but let's see what they do. And they are lining up to go. Don't you dare jump. Oh, they take it. Hayward is stuffed. He's short. He's short. That is a turnover on downs. He is nowhere near it. Let's go. What? What? They just waved that as a first down. He was nowhere near the line. Throw your flipping flag. He comes in short. There's the ball. The ball never makes it that far. You've got a challenge. That ball made it nowhere near that line. I don't care if you lose this challenge, you have to challenge it. Right? The head gets close, but he never gets there. Does anybody see anything differently than I do? Because I'm usually wrong. One second. Yeah, regardless, some plays you just have to challenge. I'm gonna say that they're probably gonna uphold it, and I'll tell you why. Just because, when you're in this part of it, you got to look at things objectively. And the thing of it is that I can never see, and with any of the angles, is that I can never see the ball. I see his head past the marker or get right to it, but I never see the ball. So I can't tell you if he reached out or not. And they're supposedly got that new device in the ball this year that tells them where it's at. Oh my gosh. If that's the case, I'm going on fourth down all day because he looked to be a foot short. At least that much. Yeah, they won't even let us see that the call stands, so there it's inconclusive. Here's the angle that I saw that did not look like he got there. He looks to be on the blue line, not the orange one. And they streaked in. Both of them marked it short, and they're still marking it short. The orange line had to be wrong. That's all I can say. Gainwell runs through. He's going to get about 2 yards on first down. Second down and 8, 2 yards for Gainwell there. They're showing it again. He did not. He is nowhere near that line. Nowhere near it. Second and 8. What a horrible call. Back to pass. Look down the field. Fires it. Incomplete. Pretty decent coverage on Metcalf there. Dax Hill was right there on his back, bringing up third and long. Pittsburgh needs to be running that ball down our throat because that's where they're going to beat us. Dax Hill with the good, just did really got around on the coverage. Rodgers is wanting to, I hate when Aaron Rodgers begs. God, I hate that dude. Third and 8, huge play here. 53 seconds to go. 3 on the play clock. And there comes back to pass. Looking, lets it go. It is caught by Calvin Austin. It's going to be a 4-yard gain. It'll be 4th and 4. Maybe they can get 2 yards on a run and get another first down. Nice grab there by Calvin Austin, though. A lot of concentration. Coverage was good from Cam Taylor-Britt. Oh, it was the punter that got in on that tackle on special teams earlier. Oh, no, it isn't. Yeah, they're just talking about Skoranek. There's the punt. Gets it away nice and clean. Charlie Jones calls for a fair catch at the 10. Roman Wilson is there. I like that kid. Jordan Love is hurt for the Packers. That is not a good deal. Mark my words, that point is going to eventually cost them this game. In some manner of speaking, it's going to make them have to go for a decision that they don't really want. If Cincinnati can continue to move the ball and keep this defense on the field, they've gotten more stops in this game than they've gotten all year, I think. Chase is in motion. Handoff. There goes Chase Brown. And he busts through the line, and he's going to get about 3 or 4. That's a pretty good run. Then I'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Cincinnati trails Pittsburgh by 1 because somebody dangles 1 free point in front of them, or 1 extra point, and they bit. If it was me, I'd be committing defensive penalties every single time and trying to tempt teams into going for 2-point conversions. Take that penalty on the kickoff, take your 1 point, get 5 extra yards on the kickoff to make sure that you put that ball right where you want it and play field position. It's so weird being on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's already almost 2. Oh, it's 1:38. What are you doing, kitty? I don't got nothing. You want to sit in my lap? Is that what you want? Come on. Come on, Nancy. Come on. You want to come up here? No? You're going to be a butthead, aren't you? Oh, I got you. I was on here last night until about 2 in the morning playing Dead by Daylight. And this cat, every chance he got, he'd jump up in my lap just to annoy me. And today I invite him and he don't want to come. I have to grab him. Cincinnati can really help Baltimore's cause today, and Cleveland can really help Cincinnati's cause today. We'll see how this turns out today. Also, running the vertical and the horizontal, that's why the scoreboard on the horizontal looks worse, because it's got to fit on the vertical stream. Worked out really good the other day on the treasure hunting channel. Made for a really nice week for views and stuff like that. So going to run it on these as well. Hopefully pick up some new folks. Haven't seen anybody new yet, but we'll see if we get there. First quarter summary. Pittsburgh dominated the run game. That's what they're supposed to do. It is. There is the handoff on 1st and 10, and that is a 2-yard gain. You have got to maintain trying to run the ball, though. Chase Brown gets 2. You just got to get a little bit smarter how you run it. Buffalo is over Tampa Bay 7-3. Jacksonville over the Chargers 7-3. Another game with big time interest for all you playoff contenders. Weird view you got here. Oh, I see you're on the vertical, so you found me through the shorts menu. Awesome. Nice to see you, mostly. Back to pass. I'll explain more in a minute. Chase gets it at the 20. He is going to go down at the 24-yard line on 3rd and 4. Mostly my paid membership to StreamYard offers dual streaming, horizontal and vertical at the same time. It's supposed to be really good for growing your audience, and that's what I'm trying to do, trying to grow it. Hopefully that, like I was mentioning earlier, with Alex's schedule changing, we'll have more time for more streams. So now I'm back in growth mode. Back to pass. Flacco's looking. Here comes pressure. Checks it down the sideline. Overthrows Chase. Nice coverage out there by Porter. He's talking smack, but I don't know that he should. Jamar Chase has really matured this year. The regular view, the only thing that's really different is the scoreboard is small. And that's because I didn't feel like manually doing one today. Back to pass, looking down the field. Flacco's got time. Checks it down. It's completed. That's Yoshibas for a short gain, but brings up 3rd and a little bit more manageable. 3rd and 8, 3rd and long is not where they want to be. Gives Pittsburgh a lot more defensive options. Yeah, that's true too. A lot of people are on phones. Just trying to learn from everything. Analytics is important. 3rd and 8. Flacco's back to pass, looking pressure. He gets away, throws it, and it makes it out of bounds. Incomplete. But there is a flag. Flacco takes a shot. I don't know what the penalty is. Oh, they're going to get Watt for roughing the passer because he came down on with his weight on the shoulder. I don't know that I agree with that call. You're expecting a 300-pound guy to land gracefully. I disagree. I totally disagree with that call. You're telling the guy to be a killer and then to not kill. I don't know. It's football, not flag football. 1st and 10, ball's at the 40. Handoff. And there's a nice run. Who is that? Number 25. That's Taj Brooks. I don't ever get to see him play very often. He takes the old Giovanni Bernard number and actually kind of looks like him. The format on the phone looks good. Thanks, Ringo. I mean, that's the goal. I'm trying to, like I said, just trying to make things be better, look better. It's not the initial hit, it's the way he came down on him. Whistle blown, false start. Okay, I'm confused. I think I'm on the other stream. Do you have to watch 2 different comment sections? I don't watch 2 different comment sections. It's all intermingled into one. It gives me a little cell phone for the ones that are on vertical. So now mostly you're on the horizontal and I can see that. And Ringo is still on the horizontal as well, but he says he likes it on the phone. I don't see the vertical format for him. 2nd and 10. Ball is at the 40-yard line. That negates that nice run by Brooks. There's the handoff to Chase. Chase Brown gets about 4 yards, maybe 5. It's going to bring up 3rd and medium here. It's the same stream, just in 2 different formats. If you're watching on your phone, the vertical might be the best way. And Green Bay comes back and scores a tutty. Looks like Christian Watson as with the backup quarterback, I assume. Stay tuned. Tampa Bay up 10-7 in Buffalo. Jacksonville up 7-3 still. 3rd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain. Flacco's back to pass. Pressure's coming. Let's the deep ball go. Oh, and what a defensive play there. He floated it into a double team, and that's going to make a punt there. Jamar Chase, the ball was just knocked away. He was in position to grab it. 42 has him around the waist, but does a great job of not. See, you can touch the receiver as long as you do not impede his progress. Stop, Pizzle. I got a question for you after this punt. Goes into the end zone touchback. Pittsburgh will be out at the 20. Pizzle, don't you dare lie to me. Did you think today, watching that football game, that Mike McDaniel was going all out to win, but at the same time, it looked like he was trying to lose? Because that play call on that 4th and goal, when all they needed to do was kick a field goal, was a joke. And I felt like both teams were just in this desperation mode, but not being very smart. It was sad. That was the saddest thing I think I've seen. I'll be honest with you. I thought that game today was pathetic. I would rather watch my I'd rather watch my Bengals struggle than what I watched between Washington and Miami this morning. And I don't think it's personnel. I think it's all in culture. Culture is the word. I think it's all culture in Miami. I think that's the biggest problem. Washington, you're playing with a backup quarterback. I get it. Mariota, you say, is, he made a lot of good decisions, but he made one bad one. Cost him the game. Packers missed a point after, and I dropped an F-bomb. There you go. Yo, what up, Miss Mary? It's when you watch games like that. Do you think that the betting scandal stuff falls into the NFL? Not saying anything, but that's what it – my brain relates everything to money, right? And if the way that game was played out, I don't know. That's why I'm not sure that this betting scandal thing doesn't go into the NFL as well. Hope not. You doing well, Miss Mary? I was just disappointed watching that game because I saw one play that looked very awesome and aggressive, and that was a slant throw from Tua to Waddle today. Everything else in that game just felt like blah. It did. It felt blah. I know, bro. I hate to feel that way, but I just feel like everybody can be bought, right? I feel like that. That's why I hate gambling in the NFL. 1st and 10 from the 20. Rodgers back to pass. Looks, checks it down. Nobody's there for Warren, and that is an automatic 7-yard gain, and he catches the ball 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I never see a Pittsburgh linebacker that's not in position. The UNC Bowl? I still love Pete Rose too, mostly. You and I are on the same boat there. Pitch back to Warren. and he's going to be slowed at the line of scrimmage. Joseph Osai deserves credit on that tackle, even though he will never get it, because he broke Warren's momentum and slowed him down and made him go horizontal, and that blew up the play. Yeah, Pete Rose died last year, Miss Mary. All right, here we go. It's 3rd and 3. Another big play for this defense to see if they can do something here. Coverage looks solid. Here comes pressure. Not going to get there. Goes long to Metcalf, and he overthrows him. Aaron Rodgers had Metcalf on the corner route there and just couldn't get it down there. DJ Turner closed, but the ball was just overthrown. That was a timing play, and Rodgers is crying like a baby, but this looks like a 1-year deal here for him in Pittsburgh too. Punt is away. Bounces straight up in the air. Now watch this. That almost looked like it hit off a Bengal foot there on that punt. Now you add, if Cincinnati could have got as many stops today in the last 2 games right now, we'd be tied with Pittsburgh in the standings. Or close. We'd be 5-4 right now. If we could have just made 2 or 3 stops in a game. Just to think how that sounds. Also, if I was GM there, I would have took this year as an opportunity to rebuild my defense. At this point, when you know you're not going to be able to stop anybody, I would have traded anybody that anybody wanted on the defensive side of the ball, and I would have stockpiled on some draft picks. I would have hired a new general manager, and I would let him rebuild from free agency, picking up some veterans to help run the defense, guys that are consistent, not great. And you just need to build a defense that can slow teams down a little bit with the way your offense is built. I think Lou Anarumo got the shaft. Dude was a good DC. I'm not sure why they went after Al Golden when there were guys like, now that they're off the street, but there were guys like Eberflus that was on the market that you could have easily had in Cincinnati. And I think they didn't hire somebody like that because Zach Taylor didn't want challenge for his job position in case he ever got fired. In case he was ever on the hot seat, he doesn't want a head coach laying in wait to interim that might be able to take this team over. And I think that's why they chose Golden. And it's such a joke, really. I would have jumped all over Robert Zala. I would have jumped all over Mike Vrabel the previous year. Those are guys that you could have fixed your defense with them being with you for 1 year. Jump all over those guys, especially when they're terminated early. Flacco's back to pass, 1st and 10, fires it over the middle. Oh, God. Jamar takes a nice shot after the play. Ball was long since passing. Jalen Ramsey up in his face. Looks like it's a little friendly, but that was a high shot. I'm surprised. T. Higgins had the deep route and was wide open, actually had a lane. The ball was behind Jamar, and Ramsey takes a shot. That's Not necessarily a fan of that. Second and 10. Buffalo regains the lead, 14-10. And there's a whistle as they get called for a delay game, which shouldn't really happen. Makes it even worse. Bye, Miss Mary. Hope you guys have a good day. I think Pittsburgh is trying to show physicality today in this game. I think that is the goal. It's now 2nd and 15. Cincinnati's forced into a passing down here. They've got 5 wide outs. Look for pressure. Watch block TJ Watt. Mims has got him, and that ball is thrown short, and it's going to be 3rd and 15. And I'm not sure, but I think Flacco's a little hurting, and I think our right tackle is a little bit gimpy after going after TJ there. And Sample was open on the right-hand side. Terrible towels are out in force right now, 3rd and 15. You just got to let one go here. Take a shot down the field. Gets it out as he takes the short route over the middle, and that's a safe play. Gets it out to the 28 and brings up 4th down and another punt. Noah Fant with the catch. What up, Dennis? Stop by to hit that like. I appreciate you, dude. Swiffle in the house. Hit it. It's free. Thank you very much. I agree. Always smash that like button. YouTube's not going to punish you for that. 4th and 8. Punt is away. Hits it really good. Drives him all the way back to the 10. Runs back from there. He cuts back inside. Gets grabbed. Makes it out to the 24. Tackled there. A lot of names on this special teams that I do not know, but these guys are playing ball. They're getting in there and they're making tackles. And that's a good thing. Aaron Rodgers comes back on the field. You know, there is nothing wrong with this Pittsburgh offense. Aaron Rodgers is pouty. Let's see. Just checking out right now. 1 second. So far, nice. Really nice. "50-yard TD run by the Bucks." Awesome. Yeah, I designed it for the vertical mostly for sure. I'm going to try to work it out and come up with a format that looks good on both aspects of it so that I can do it both ways. But I didn't have time this morning to really think it through. I thought it would be easier than it was. But I do like the format, and so far it's a huge help. It definitely gets more traffic across the channel, and I like that. Anybody that's definitely interested in any kind of college football or basketball, I'm very fired up that my Indiana Hoosier football team did make it to 11-0. We go into a bye week this week, and then we go on the road for the season finale at Purdue. And really, at this point, I don't think there's nothing that we can do that will not let us play Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. So, and I really don't think that we can prevent ourselves from at least being in the college football playoff. It would take something very desperately wrong to happen. Like, I don't even want to say. So congratulations, 11-0, first time in team history. Basketball team has been totally revamped, all new roster, looking fairly good so far. We might watch them today at 5 o'clock. Great stop. Dax Hill behind the line of scrimmage wraps up Jaylen Warren, and that is exactly the type of pursuit on the running game that they need. Jacksonville's extended over the Chargers 14-6 late in the second quarter, and Atlanta doing the same 14-7 over Carolina. Giants holding that 1-point lead over Green Bay, but the Green Bay Packers did get a touchdown, and Minnesota got a 3-0 lead on the Bears. Tennessee with a 3-0 lead on Houston. What? Back to pass. Rodgers looks. He's going to step up in the pocket. Oh, he flips it out to Freiermuth, who makes a move and gets a first down. Freiermuth just juked Demetrius Knight and gets the first down, and he is fired up. Should have been a tackle after a 2-yard gain. The ball didn't come out of Rodgers' hands cleanly, but it ended up being a nice play. Oh, he had to throw it around a guy. That's why it looks so funny. Freiermuth just juked Demetrius Knight. There's where you do. You gotta stay on the midsection. That's where you're looking at. Tackle the waist. Don't tackle the ball. 1st and 10. Ball is at the 41-yard line. Play action. Looking downfield. Everybody's rolling out. Murphy cuts off Rodgers. Now he fires it back across the middle. Incomplete. Looking for Jonnu Smith at the 50. Low and outside is the call on the throw, and Jonnu Smith cannot get his paws on it. 2nd down and long. Myles Murphy did a really nice job there from that defensive end side of cutting off Rodgers from going towards the sideline to make that throw. As Rodgers rolls out of the pocket, Murphy goes and gets ahead of him, doesn't stay behind him, and makes him make a choice to come back inside. And when he does, that Rodgers does not get his feet set when he makes the throw. So cutting that edge off was a great play. Myles Murphy's been a bust so far. Back bobbled the snap, getting ready to fire it, and Rodgers gets away looking, and he gets smoked at the 30-yard line. And there you go. Myles Murphy's name again, and B.J. Hill in there on the sack. Rodgers looks a little shooken after that. He's cleaning grass out of his helmet. Low snap that was bobbled, and Murphy just ran through his guy. Him and B.J. Hill ended up right on top of Rodgers, and that was where's this guy been? I think all these guys that you draft are super talented. They're just difficult to motivate. Now it's 3rd and 21. Rodgers is probably going to take a check down here. He's looking down the field. Here comes pressure. He hits his check down. And there goes big boy Washington, who tries to get over the top. Hurdles. 270-pound linebacker tight end tries to hurdle 3 guys. Gets tackled. It's going to be 4th and 7. And the Bengals defense holds yet again. I love Darnell Washington. You just see that guy running at a couple cornerbacks. He decides to try to jump and run through them. What? I love it. 4th down and 7. Don't you go offside. Snap, punt, clear. He hits it going down the field. Charlie Jones is going to get it at the 12, out to the 15, and out of bounds at the 18. Charlie Jones, the Pittsburgh product, or Purdue product from a few years back, hasn't really emerged in the receiving game so much, but he's definitely been a very good punt returner and kick returner. What? Anybody that's new to the chat right now that's hanging out, please hit that subscribe button. ring a bell, leave a comment, get in here and start chatting so some of these other folks can talk it up with you. That's how it works around here. You don't just come in and listen, you be a part of the day. Makes my day easier when you chat. Yeah, so and you're right. It doesn't look bad. Let me make sure here. I want to see something. Yeah, you flip your phone around horizontal, and on the horizontal stream, it doesn't look bad. This is definitely better for the phone. I just want to see what it looks like in the vertical live stream as well. There it is. Whoa, that was pretty quick. There it is. Whoa, that was pretty quick. It does look nice on the phone. Okay, I see why that's kind of appealing. It does look nice on the phone. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Well, anybody new in, just smash that like, share it out, whatever you want to do. I didn't put it on Facebook today. It's really weird when I put the live streams on Facebook. It's always, and it's not a discriminatory comment, but all of my commenters, all the people that talk to me on the Facebook side of this are all from either Southeast Asia, India, the Middle East area, um, places like that. It's not a lot of the same people that are in here on YouTube. It's really strange. All right, Flacco is going to start under center, 8 for 1363 in a tutty right now. Yoshavash is in motion, going to go run left, and that was a very obvious play that they were going to run there. 2-yard gain for Chase Brown. That's the play right there that you go play action. I really wish that they would use play action more in this offense. I'm telling you, Green Bay just went up on the Giants 13-7. Chicago gets a touchdown in Minnesota, up 7-3. Tennessee still with a 3-0 lead over Houston. Back to pass. Flacco looking. Here comes pressure. Sawyer's got him. He checks it down to Chase Brown. And Chase Brown will get another 2 yards. It's going to be about a third and maybe 6 or 7 here. Call it 6. Good defense by Pittsburgh. Jack Sawyer, the Ohio State kid, whom I really liked in the draft last year, didn't go until like the 4th round of Pittsburgh. Oh my God, it drove me crazy. Really looks good on the field. He doesn't get a full-time role right now. He's still limited, but back to pass. Here comes pressure. Checks it down. Chase has got it. Brown goes for the first down and then some. Blitz was coming. Flacco hit his check down, and good play by the Bengals. Josh Allen picked again. Well, if Josh Allen got picked again, I'm probably going to lose my fantasy game because I got to, in Dynasty, your quarterback has to play well. Chase Brown having a pretty nice game so far in the first half today, 50 yards, 32 passing, back to pass. Flacco evades it, gets away, throws it away. And I don't know what the Pittsburgh bench was waving for, but Flacco barely avoids Watt. 2nd down and 10. 2:48 to go before the half. Cincinnati has been moving the ball a little bit here. They need some positive yardage to make a 3rd and manageable. Flacco's in the gun. Hudson's in motion to the right. Looking. They're going to hand it off again to Chase Brown. They're going to take the 2.5 yards here. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 8. Cincinnati's defense has done an outstanding job thus far today. Should be enough to help them get a dub. Game should be tied, but that's another story all on itself. Flacco's back to pass. Here comes pressure. Got time. Fires it over the middle, and it is woof. Chase Brown is hammered. Is there a flag? Everybody's wearing yellow gloves, so I can't tell if there's flags or not. I don't think there is. Looks like Brown was on the cutback across. Oh, no. Good defense. Read the play well. Somebody was jumping in front of it. That's why. 29 jumped the ball. 41 might have been a little bit early, but that's Kyle Duggar. Just got traded over from the New England Patriots. Good punt. And that's going to run Calvin Austin back to the 3-yard line. And there he's going to get tackled at the 8. That ball would have went into the end zone if he'd have just let that go. Special teams for Cincinnati playing very well today. It's the offense that's struggling today. Of course, Pittsburgh's defense has a lot to do with it, and this win on the road has a lot to do with it as well. Let's see. I'm just going to see how long it takes. I don't usually get on. There we go. So the vertical does look really nice. Adam, you called it. Now the question is can they hang on to that lead? Historically, they've been bad this year about not finishing games. Adam, do you think the Bryce Young experiment's going to be over? Do you think they're going to continue down that road next year? What does it look like for the Carolina Panthers? Also, how many of y'all think that who's going to look better as quarterback, Mac Jones or Brock Purdy when Purdy comes back today? He's playing good. I don't get much opportunity to watch Carolina. Gotcha. 9 for 11 with a touchdown. Yeah, I think I will set up the basketball game today as well and run the basketball game like this. Close out the half with a field goal is okay. We start the ball. Yeah, the middle 8, bro. That's so big in football games. That middle 8. Here you go. You want to get a turnover here. There's the pitch to Kenny Gainwell, trying to get the edge. Good job of getting out there with leaving him with nowhere to go. And face mask on the offense? Jonnu Smith called for the penalty. Right there. Oh, he ripped his helmet backwards and still made the tackle. Good job, Cam Taylor-Britt. Way to get your head ripped off and still make the play. It's going to be 1:43 left to go here in the half. Rodgers is at the 7-yard line. 2nd and 10. There's a handoff, and that's going to go for about 6 yards. Jaylen Warren. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4 here. Other than the opening drive today, Cincinnati's defense has been outstanding. I do not understand it. I have statements to make, and maybe it'll be something we talk about at halftime. But those of you that are in the chat are usually here anyway. So, but I do got a conversation at halftime, and I would love input on what everybody else feels. 3rd down and 4. Arthur Smith's got the play call over there. This is going to be a big one. Cincinnati, with them being pinned like this, would love to get the ball back for a chance to put a field goal up before half. Get good field position. Rodgers is in the gun. 7 on the play clock. There's the snap. Here comes pressure. They're on him. And he skits away, runs away. He escapes. Aaron Rodgers is going to take off and run for it. And, oh, I see a Bengal that is limping as Rodgers escaped and got the first down. I've never seen Aaron Rodgers run. I'm surprised he didn't pull a hammy. Cam Sample is the one that looks like he came up limping. Yep. Yeah, he's Cam Taylor-Britt made sure not to hit him. 1:06 to go here in the half. Rodgers is back to pass. Pressure's coming. Checks it out. There can't be a flag on that. There is a flag on that. I gotta say BS. Cam Taylor-Britt is hurt on the play. They're going to get him off the field. Let's see. 5-yard, both hand fighting. I don't know. They're both looking back at the football. Sure, call it a foul. Got a minute left. Ball's at the 32 now. Checks it out to Freiermuth over. Oh, what the fudge? That better not be on battle. So they get it on DK. I was going to say that would have been just a horrible call. I disagree that I don't know. I don't like the way they're calling this game for both sides. That is a pick, and it is illegal. But 1st and 20, ball is back at the 23. Pressure, and Rodgers gets smacked. Kenny Gainwell cannot come up with the play, but oh no, here we go again. Oh my God, they're just how is that roughing the passer? Let's see. I disagreed the last one. That is not roughing the passer. He got blocked into him. That's 2 roughing the passers that I've disagreed with today. Back to pass, looking again. Pressure across the middle. He hits Washington. And Washington just barrels over like 5 people. Wow. Darnell Washington. Go back and watch that play. Did you see that? He has a linebacker on him, Demetrius Knight, probably our best tackler. Then he barrels over Geno Stone, and then Miles Turner goes to knock the ball, or DJ Turner goes to knock the ball out, and he barrels through him too. That's Pittsburgh football right there. Kenny Gainwell is going to scamper for a first down. They've got 37 seconds now to try to get this thing into the end zone after some just absolute garbage officiating, throwing penalty flags. Now we're down to 34 seconds. As I said before, you cannot give up touchdowns. You have got to hold the field goals. If you let them score a touchdown here, then it's an 8-point game. And it's a bigger ask to come back. If you hold them to a field goal, it's only a 4-point game. Panthers get a field goal with 25 seconds to go. The beauty of this game is Aaron Rodgers is getting hit, and he's getting a little antsy in the pocket. Myles Murphy's played well. I've never thought I'd hear the day where I said that. I love Darnell Washington. That was the best play. He just ran over people. I dare you to try to get in front of that guy. There's a snap. Play action. Looking down the field. Has pressure. Block. Good job by Demetrius Knight to not. Oh, no. What is the flag now? Come the. Let's see. Another roughing the passer. This is like protect your geriatric day. That is. First and goal. Joseph Osai is. Ball is inside the 10, 30 seconds to go. All this crap, you have got to hold on and play defense here. Do not let them in the end zone. Let's get a turnover. Pitches it to Gainwell. Gainwell's got the edge. He's cut off, stopped at the 7-yard line. Nice job, Dax Hill. That is what you're supposed to do right there. The Buffalo Bills score a touchdown, up 21-17 right before half. Jacksonville with the 8-point lead just before half, or at half. Atlanta 21-10 over Carolina. Carolina receives the second half. And the Giants mixed an extra point. His hand hit his face mask. It's funny the way this game is going. It's leading me into my next form of conversation for halftime. Second down and goal. Ball is at about the 7-yard line. Rodgers is in the gun. Yes. Jonnu Smith is in motion. Back to pass. Here comes pressure. Up the middle. Rodgers scampers. Gets away. Looking. He throws it up in the air. It's caught, but out of bounds. Third down and goal. Rodgers took another shot at the end of that. Carolina and Atlanta go to the half. 38 seconds in New York till the half. And Chicago goes to the half with a 7-point lead. Aaron Rodgers is hurt. He's been planted several times, but the protection's not holding up. At some point, quarterbacks just have to get hit. Oh, he's bleeding. It's 3rd and goal here. I assume I'm going to hope that you're going to keep the pressure on here, but I feel like a draw play is coming here because I don't know. If I'm Pittsburgh, run the draw play here. Oh, you can't. They got to throw it because they may not get out for a field goal. My bad. Rush 4. Double team who you can. Don't let the running back beat you. Back to pass. Here comes pressure. Fires it, and it is incomplete. Good defense by Newton out there on Roman Wilson. And I think Aaron Rodgers was just throwing that ball away. Chris Boswell, 17 for 20 for the season at 85%. Doesn't seem like a Boswell type season. It seems like he never misses. Kicks up, and it is good. Pittsburgh with a 10-6 lead. Packers are shitting themselves, bruh. Aaron Rodgers goes to the locker room. USC at Oregon, old Pac, whatever that was, Pac-12 game. Should be a dandy. Two fumbles in one play. What's up with that? I like it if you're on the vertical and you flip it, it goes right to the Rising Rhino, which is a friend of ours. Rhino's a good dude. See how his stream's doing today. What? Kickoff is fielded at the 15 on the run, out to the 20, 25, 30, cuts back, tries to get to the outside, and goes down there. Rhino has a few more than us today. He's got 11 in chat. Officials just listen. I'm telling you what, officials are they're just bad. I don't think there's any other way to explain it, but they're just bad, and they've got too much control over the replay, so they don't want to look worse. There's still a bias in calls based on where you're at. Have to listen to this. Yeah. Cincinnati will receive the second half kickoff. But yeah, give me. I'm not used to being here this time of day. Give me about 30 seconds. I shall be right back. All right. Thank you for your patience. This Chiefs Broncos game today is going to weigh big in the AFC. I'll get to see some preview or highlights here. Wow. Wow. It looks like everybody else's defense is about as bad as mine. So back to what Puppet. Thank you for the comment. I agree with you. Says the league just ain't as good as it used to be. So my brain was entertaining this conversation earlier, and I'm gonna make sure I make sure I verbalize it correctly. But I think in today's game, pure talent is at an all-time high. I think there are more ultra talented guys in the NFL than there ever was before. Um, and I think the game has gotten vastly more intelligent today than it ever has been in years past. Uh, whether it be, analytics, AI technology into it, preparation is at an all-time high, right? Uh, Back in the 70s, you just ran over people. But where the NFL lacks today, it lacks on the mental side of the game. It lacks on mental and physical toughness. And what I mean by that is that it's not that these guys are weak by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think players have appropriate amount of practice. I think everything is about, the players union dictates how many times they get to go out, and I don't think they're mentally tough like they used to be, because now somebody doesn't like what happens, they want to trade. They're paid way too much money, and they're hurt all the time. So the biggest 12th man in the NFL is the injury report. The injury report dictates everything. I mean, other than a few gruesome injuries you saw back in the day, people were conditioned. They went out there, they played the game, they played hard, they played tough. There's some Pittsburgh Steelers guys out there from back in the day that if you were to put them on the field today, they would be out of the league within weeks for excessive, violent, roughing play. That type of those type of hits would be illegal. People would not survive those hits because those guys were meatheads. They went out there and they played the game as it was meant to play, as a violent sport. Today, preparation's at an all-time high, but as far as the game plan and the intelligence side of it, but the physicality is not what it's supposed to be. And I think that's leading into the biggest detriment in the NFL. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Texas A&M's football team yesterday erased a 28-3 deficit in halftime, or a 28-point deficit or 27-point deficit to win that game 31-30. Georgia moves up to 4, Ole Miss to 5, Texas Tech to 6, Oregon's up to 6, tied, Oklahoma to 8, Notre Dame stays at 9, Alabama falls all the way to 10th. Anything else interesting? BYU is at 11, Vanderbilt is at 12, Utah, Miami, Georgia Tech, USC, Texas, Michigan. Boy, I tell you what, Michigan's got a sneaky path to that Big Ten title game if they can win out. That would be interesting. I'm not a Michigan fan, but I think they've got a sneaky path after they've been written off this year. Anyway, back to my rant. I think it just boils down to the physical preparation is not like what it should be, and everything is on the game planning side of it. And it's presenting a very athletic appearance, but it's not backed up with stability, and you've got guys that are hurt all the time. I don't know. The guys that are doing the prep, the guys that are going out there putting in the extra work to make their bodies correct, they all say it, they all talk it, but you know which ones are out there doing it, and those are the ones that are succeeding. You know, you don't ever hear a lot, and I hate to say it, but you don't see a lot with, Patrick Mahomes, right? He doesn't look like he's doing the work, but he always seems to be on the field. Josh Allen, same way. Lamar Jackson, I'm not sure if he's one of those guys or not. I think he lacks in the mental toughness side of the game. Physically, he is gifted. He is a phenom. But mentally, I'm not sure. I don't know how a guy can be completely dominant one day and completely inept the next. Don't get it. Wisconsin lost yesterday at Indiana 31-7 with their third string quarterback, who's a freshman. And mostly, I got to tell you, that kid is going to have a future. But since they're probably going to change coaches the way it looks, since they're not doing well, I think removing Luke Fickell's a bad idea. But that kid that played quarterback showed pretty well yesterday. He played a very tough first half. I was impressed with him. I think his name was Smith. I'm not sure. Well, there's no, and who plays is based on how much they're paid, right? So whoever gets the best contract is on the field. It's not who plays the best football. Everything's based on this whole money system, and I just don't feel like the product is getting better on half of it. I think coaching is horrible. I think ownership gives up on coaching way too fast. If you don't win tomorrow, you're out. Does anybody here think that Robert Saleh was a bad head coach? Maybe. Did he get long enough to figure that out? Maybe. I think Brian Daboll isn't going to end up somewhere good as a coordinator, and he'll go back to being a dominating figure again. You don't think Joe Brady might leave Buffalo and go take that job in Baton Rouge? Joe Brady, Brian Daboll back to Buffalo next year. Could happen. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Listen, I just don't like the product. I'm afraid for people's health. because I just don't feel like they get enough practice. They're talking about going to a longer season yet, which I think is just a money grab, and cutting out another preseason game, which cuts out people's opportunity to get on a team. So it's always going to be more. It's going to be more of the whoever's got a contract is going to stay on the team instead of these young guys. They're not getting the opportunity. I'm scared from the direction of the NFL, and they're making so much money that they could fix the problems. Aaron Rodgers looks like he is regretting Mason Rudolph. I don't want to see Mason Rudolph because Mason Rudolph, oh no. Mason Rudolph kicks our ass. You showed exactly what kickoff is underway. Why I love DK Metcalf, because he's a big receiver. Here goes Charlie Jones. He gets out to the 23. Oh, there's a tackle out of bounds. Hey, you're going to tackle him out of bounds, but don't push him afterwards. Buffalo leads 21-20 at half. Jacksonville up 21-6 in the third quarter. Atlanta up 21-10 in the third quarter. Oh, Carolina with the tutty. 21-16. All right. Flacco is under center. One wide out left. One in motion. There's the handoff. Chase Brown goes through the hole. He's at the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. And out of bounds there. Big hole opens up the middle. And Chase Brown gets some of his uniform ripped off. Let's see what happened here. My gosh, blocking up front, Drew Sample. Tight end comes across and gets the block that absolutely helps free Chase Brown, and there he's gone. We're in Pittsburgh territory. First down and 10. Ball's at the 41. Play action. Flacco steps up, checks it down, gets it out to the tight end. That is Noah Fant for a 4-yard gain on the check down. Ever since they went to Vegas, it's all about money and gambling. Tennessee increases its lead on Houston, 6-0. Second down and 6, very manageable. Good job on first down by Flacco checking down with nothing open. T. Higgins is in motion, comes set, handoff. There goes Brown, inside, cuts it, dodges one, gets outside, gets the first down, and +1. Chase Brown starting to run like he should. He was that close to breaking that one for a tutty. T. Higgins with the block that freed him. Your star wide receiver had the block that freed him. Hate the 2-point conversion, Adam. Flip and hate it. Back to pass. Fires over the middle. Incomplete. Off the hand to Higgins. Had him open, just let him a little too much. Second down and 10. They're going to load up on the run play here because I know they're going to think that he's going to hand it off to Chase Brown. Pittsburgh should load the box. 7 in the box. 6 in the box. They do not. Back to pass. Fires it. And that is, oh my gosh. Noah Fant comes across the middle and puts his hand on the ball that was intended for Higgins. Knocks it down. Higgins was open. Thank you, Mostly. I completely agree with that. I hate the 2-point conversion. I love that it gives some excitement for the end of the game and gives you a path back into the game, but it's always, to me, it's a detriment going for it early. Back to pass, looks, fires it, caught at the 25-yard line to Jamar Chase. He gets hit by Eccles, and it brings up 4th down and 5. And back again, where we would be going to tie the game right now, we're going to be down by a point. As Evan McPherson comes out on a windy day in Pittsburgh, which could be, is some of Pittsburgh and Cleveland can be two of the toughest places to kick. McPherson's 13 for 16 this year, 43-yard attempt. And look at all those empty seats in Pittsburgh. What the heck? Snap, kick, up, straight, and good. Good job, Money Matt. Do you see how empty the stands are in Pittsburgh today? What is up with that? Behind that end of the... There used to be a 2-point playbook, but everyone threw it out. Plus, nobody punts anymore. 4th and 5, go for it. Yeah, that's analytics, and I disagree. You know, and I guess it's because I'm old or older, but mostly. But I remember in the as far as early as recent as the mid '90s that field position was always a strategy in a game because defenses were always that good. So the field position game sometimes you couldn't get out of, and you waited for your opportunity because games were played that tightly. So field position is a strategy. I mean, I believe that the go for it on 4th down mentality comes from when you need to, when there's no sense in punting. But risk versus reward sometimes is where it's at. And they say the analytics prove it, but I don't like to put my team behind the 8 ball. And getting stopped on 4th down, the one thing that does is that eliminates any momentum whatsoever that you may have had. And I think there's deeper effects in going for it every 4th down than just a turnover on downs. There are certain places like that no man's land I kind of agree with sometimes, but it's definitely situational and how you're doing. If you're winning the game, punt. If you're winning the game, punt. Put your defense out there. It's what they're paid to do. Punt. Play field position. All right, Cincinnati does get points on their first drive here in the second half. McPherson set to kick off. Let's see if Pittsburgh's offense has any adjustments to help them in the second half. Hopefully they get worse. Kickoff goes to Gainwell. Gainwell comes up the right side, cuts back into the middle. He gets taken down at the 27-yard line. And Mason Rudolph is going to replace Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. And he is a big guy. He's a big, sturdy quarterback, and he has been bad for Cincinnati over the years. So what you got to do now is you got to tighten up. change your coverages. You can't get stagnant. There's a snap. Pitches out to Warren. Warren gets to the left. He does get the edge. Newton comes up and slows him, but Hill makes the tackle. That's about a 6-yard gain. 5. And Pittsburgh's going to start doing what I didn't want them to do to begin with. I wanted them to try to throw the ball. Cam Sample chasing Aaron Rodgers is out. Cam Taylor-Britt, foot out. Cincinnati's down on the defensive side here. A D lineman and a cornerback. 5-yard gain on first down. 2nd and 5. Rudolph is in another running formation here. He's going to hand it off, and he's going to get 3 yards. 3rd and 2. And this is the Pittsburgh I'm scared of, because if they keep getting good yardage on these plays, then what happens is that it changes the whole dynamic. Gainwell comes in, who's a much more dangerous back on a check down or a screen. Roman Wilson comes in on 3rd down, very fast. Probably going to throw it here, but you never can tell. Cincinnati's lined up like they think they're going to run. Back to pass, checks it down, hits Gainwell on the flat. On his check down, gets the 1st down. Mason Rudolph can make that throw 10 times out of 10. And that is the reason why I don't want to see him on the field, because Aaron Rodgers is going to try to push the ball and make a bad throw or make the hero throw where Mason Rudolph will take what he's given. Cincinnati's always given something. 1st and 10. Ball is at the 37. Rudolph's back to pass. Goes to his check down. Warren's on the side. He's going to lose a yard. Good contained by Battle on the outside. And Jaylen Warren has come up gimpy. He is limping now too. And the Cincinnati training staff came out on the field when he saw him get tackled. Let's see what he saw. Oh, his whole knee he just got corkscrewed into the ground, and his foot twisted, didn't plant it, and his body twisted. So that could be a knee. That could be in the knee. And that's what I see it. He thankfully is walking off, but that looked like that hurt. Jaylen Warren, 10 rushes for 62 yards today, has been doing a masterful job. The biggest nemesis on that team that affecting Cincinnati by far. And with Aaron Rodgers out, they're back to being a very conservative offense here, which scares me. Back to pass. Looking. Here comes pressure. Don't let him get rhythm. Checks it down. Throws it away. Does get it past the line of scrimmage, so it will not be grounding. Brings up 3rd down and 11. You got to keep him uncomfortable in the pocket. Packers up 19-13. NFC North is a battleground. Kind of looking like the AFC North. Everybody's going to be bunched together here. Let's get a win today, Bengals. Come on. Let's get in here. You got 3rd and long. Get some pressure on this guy. Make his check down tough. He gets it out, throws it away, and hits. Just catches. Good play by Roman Wilson to be open on that little out route, and Mason Rudolph went right to him, got the 1st down on 3rd and long. Pressure was coming. He just got the ball out in time. No, he just tricked. He got him confused on who had who. Excellent play call. Hate to say it, but it was excellent. Ball crosses midfield. There's the pitch out. There goes the rookie running back from Iowa, I believe. Caleb Johnson? Is that who it was? Yep. They go with a two-back set here. This looks like an RPO coming up. Let's see what this one looks like. 2nd down and 7. Arthur Smith. He's not okay. Back to pass, looking down the field. Pressure comes, fires it over the middle. Good hands. Dax Hill gets his hand in there. I know he took some pretty hard hits. And his left hand looked hurt, and it looked like he might, I don't know, shoulder, ribs. He took a lot of shots in that first half. Rudolph goes deep. Oh, what a throw. Back shoulder. Oh, but here comes the flags. Is it going to be offensive or defensive pass interference on Metcalf? DJ Turner screaming for the flag. It's going to be OPI. And that is how he got back to catch the ball. Houston takes a 1-point lead over Tennessee. Big play there. Pushes off to get open. That's where hand fighting, when it gains you an advantage, that's where it becomes pass interference. You can hand fight, but as soon as you push to gain an advantage on the ball, that is when it becomes OPI or DPI. Turner's a little guy. There's the check down. Oh, no, there comes Washington. Are you going to get him? And he gets the first down on 3rd and 17 because nobody's big enough to tackle him. Terrible towels are out in force. Back to pass, checks it over the middle, gets it to DK, which will be really close to another first. He gets the first down, fights through the tackle from Battle and gets there. Washington's so big, got to tackle him by his shoes. Rudolph's back to pass, looking, hits this check down once again, and they're dropping DK. They're dropping DK shallow, and they're getting him the check down throws, which is pretty ingenious, actually. The shots he took in the show, he got planted about 4 or 5 times. Like I said, if he didn't come back today, he's got to be hurt. 1st and 10. Ball is at the 20-yard line, just inside. Here's where your defense has got to step up, Cincy. Play act, no handoff, straight up the middle. Caleb Johnson's going to run for 7 or 8. Jalen Warren has not come back into the game. Johnson is the rookie from Iowa, whom I drafted early this year because I thought he would be a bruiser. Getting his opportunity right now. Couple really nice runs so far. Is getting a blow on the sideline right now. Pittsburgh is closing in on 100 yards as a team rushing. Jalen Warren's back on the field. Ball is at the 13, 12-yard line. And the play clock expires, but I think they called a timeout. I don't know what you saw, Skater, but he was holding his hand when they took him off the field, when he walked off the field. Of course, I can't hear what the commentary says either, but his hand looked messed up. Chicago extends its lead to 13-3 over Minnesota. That's another big one right now. Rudolph pitches it back to Johnson. He's going to be wrapped up short of the first down on 2nd and 3. No gain, maybe a half yard. Brings up 3rd down since he needs a stop. Third and 2. Big play for the Cincy defense here. Back to pass. DK comes open. Rudolph rolls out, has nobody, goes to throw it, has to throw it away. DK was open, but he couldn't see him off the break. It must have been the lineman was in the way. Yep. 54, the offensive line was in his line of vision, and he couldn't hit his target that he wanted to on his first read. Cincy's defense holds again. Kick is up, and it is good. Pittsburgh extends its lead again, back to 13-9. Back to that 4-point lead. So he'd gotten planted several times on his back, helmet coming into the collarbone region. But the last time he walked off the field, he was holding his hand like that. And that was what we were going off of from what we saw. I don't know. Twitter's as bad as is almost as bad as fake news most days. There's a lot of that. I don't know if they said it on the TV on the broadcast here because I don't have the volume up. I know that it got crazy. Not playing at home, not playing Chicago, which really has a pretty good secondary, and not playing the Jets, which really has a pretty good secondary. I don't know what they've taken away today. The running game has been there. I think Pittsburgh's decided that they're not going to let them be beat with the long ball. But that's, if a defense chooses to take something away, they're giving something up. And Chase Brown's ran fairly well today. So I think that they would rather Chase Brown beat them on the ground than let Jamar Chase beat them on the long ball. And that's where the double teams have been today on Jamar. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Terry and Arnold and the other guy that was out in the secondary. Yeah, so Cincinnati will need to hold them to no more than a field goal, and they need to score a 7-point touchdown to get this thing squared back away. Stupid 2-point conversion. Charlie Jones gets it at the 9. He's at the 25, busts through the hole, and gets upended at the 32. Almost broke it. He was going through pretty hot. All right, 1st and 10. Ball's at the 32. Flacco is under center. Samples in motion. It's going to be a run play. There goes Chase Brown to the outside. They cut the edge off. No gain. Man, this game of no defense in Buffalo is getting hectic. Chicago extends 16-3. Flacco's in the gun, 2nd and 10. They got to get Jamar Chase involved. Fires caught Yoshibas. I think that's incomplete. Jacksonville extends yet again to 28-6. That's why you punch at the ball there, Jalen Ramsey, because he was trying to transition. It wasn't like he wasn't going to catch it, but going from that right to the left to take off, that's where it happened. Back to pass, 3rd and 10. Flacco has time. Gets it out to Fant. Fant breaks a tackle and gets the 1st down. Noah Fant carries him out to the 47-yard line. Had him stopped. And Eccles, the cornerback, is slow to get up, and they're going to get him off the field. I think he's okay. Noah Fant with some hard running there. Looked like doing his best. Darnell Washington. Break, 2 tackles. Almost breaking a 3rd. Takes another guy to get him. That was a huge play in the grand scheme of things right there for Cincinnati. That 1st down was very necessary. 2:56 to go here in the 3rd. They need to be in the lead at some point. Handoff Brown. Brown cuts through, and he gets carried over and gets about a 3.5-yard gain out to midfield. Second down and 6. Ball is just in Cincinnati territory. Need to come out of this with no less than a field goal. Back to pass. Here comes pressure. Gets rid of it. Hits T. Higgins on the side, and he's going to get a 1st down and then some. 1-on-1 against Pierre. That is no match. Flacco throws it up. T. Higgins brings it in. A touchdown here is huge for Cincinnati. That means Pittsburgh will have to score one, I think. No, doesn't. That means they'll have to get a field goal at least, but it would be huge. Handoff, Chase Brown, nowhere to go. He's going to get about a yard. The yards are becoming way tougher right now. as Pittsburgh has focused in more on the run here in the second half. Cincinnati still 32nd in the NFL in rushing, 86 yards on the ground today as a team. Second down and 9. Flacco's looking to throw the ball. Cincinnati wants to spread the field out here. 5 wideouts. Back to pass. Pressure's coming. Fires it over the middle. It's tipped at the line. Yeah, they were going to hit Chase and stride, but it looked like somebody got a hand up there. 3rd and 9. Huge play for Pittsburgh. They really want to get off the field here so that they can play with the lead. Cincinnati 40. They're right at the cusp of field goal range here. Back to pass. Here comes pressure. Lets it go. Intercepted. Coming back at the 50. He's going to run it back. 30, 25, 20. He's going to take it all the way to the house. Kyle Duggar. Flacco threw it from his back foot. I don't even know who he was throwing at. Duggar was in zone. I think he thought it was man. Best guess I can make right there. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Thought it was man, I guess. Duggar just slipped off into the middle of the field. There you go. Now it's going to be that time again as Pittsburgh leads 20-9. Yeah, like I said, man, Skater, enjoy your game tonight. I've never been on the sidelines for anything, so that's awesome. Closest thing I've been to sidelines is being in the diamond seats at the Reds game, where you get to, where you're sitting there by the tunnels and you get to see the players come in and out from underneath the stadium. Once again, my Bengals just come up a little short on the road. We'll get over and we'll check some scores here in just a second, see where we all stand. I'm in the bottom half of my fantasy league, so not so worried about those points right now. Struggling in my pick'ems this year. I don't think I've spent enough time with football, and that's the reason why I'm struggling with my picks this year. Yeah, I'm sure Dan Campbell is going to continue calling plays. If the last time he called plays, they got 44 points. Danny's got her brother helping out, and Danny's right there in second place, just ready to pounce on Rob and the other guy. Can't think of his name. If they falter, I'm telling you, I usually do really, really well. I'm always up at the top, and I'm not this year. Struggling a little bit for sure. Now you watch Cincinnati go down and start scoring touchdowns, and this game will end up blowing up. Charlie Jones cuts it to the outside, and there is a flag that's going to bring that one back, I assume. When you start cutting across the field, it turns a block into a hold a lot of times. All right, let's go. We got 1 quarter to play. We're only down 11. We were down 15 to Chicago or whatever it was. I don't know. Ball's at the 23-yard line after the penalty. Flacco's in the gun. Stop throwing to the middle of the field. Start throwing at T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Handoff. And that is, I don't know who that is. It just ran that ball. Milton? Yeah, I don't even know who that was. He just came in off the practice squad. Is Desert Storm who you're talking about? He's Dan Campbell's brother. I'm not sure. I told everybody today, Adam. I told everybody today that the Falcons and the Panthers game would be a good one. Act. Stop. I guess in the blink of an eye, Buffalo just scored a touchdown. All right, here we go. Second down 7. Flacco's back. Here comes pressure. Fires it deep. Wide open is T. Higgins out at the 47-yard line. That play is open all day long. You give him enough protection just to throw it. If it was me and I was out there, I would be throwing at him and Jamar every single time. Every time they're one-on-one. But Pittsburgh has went to a zone, And now he's realized it because that's where the pick six came from. They need to score quickly here. Back to pass. Pressure comes. Checks it down to Chase Brown. He's going to get it. Breaks a tackle and falls forward for a few more yards. Going to bring up second and short. And there's another Pittsburgh Steeler hurt today. And you know what? And I'm going to put this into perspective that this field today, Acrisure Stadium, was played on yesterday by Notre Dame and Pitt. And the field is a little bit messy today. And it's a natural grass. And I wonder if that's causing all these, we've had feet and ankle issues like repeatedly today. Baker got picked. Got it. Come on, doofball. I wish I could bring the dog down here, but I don't think he'd like you. Well, come on. You're going to get him up here. Come on up. You're not going to sit there and just sharpen your claws on my leg. Like I said, I picked that as about my third most competitive game of the day, Adam. I felt like the Panthers and the Falcons divisional match would be a dandy today. Even though they kicked their butt really bad at home, I just felt like it would reverse a little bit today. Yeah, he's the one that Eccles has been laying some hits out there in the secondary. What do you want, kitty? Come on. Come on. I don't know what you're after. There you go. I have adopted permanently Alex's cat. Oh, he didn't hit anybody. He just planted wrong. Second down and 3. Ball is at the 47. Handoff. Chase Brown pushes forward and he dives for the first down. And I think they marked him short. I don't know. Evidently, I can't read line markers today for nothing. Who the hell did they just give that ball to? You give it to a guy you just brought in off the practice squad. I didn't see what happened. I just know that you bring a guy in off your practice squad and 3rd and 1. They both locked up pretty evenly, so I can see why both got penalized. 4th down. Here we go. If you do not run a sneak of some type here and you go to hand off to a back that's 7 yards deep, you're going to get stuffed. Just saying, unless you're going to throw the ball. What? I don't understand the relevance here. Try to get him to jump off sides and waste the timeout that you may need later. Did he rip his helmet off? Oh, man, I need more cameras. This time they hit Ramsey. He ripped his helmet off. And he just got Ramsey kicked out of the game. So what looked like happened there is it looked like Chase got mouthy with him and he grabbed him, punched him, and Chase didn't react, and now he's been ejected. Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase have had this for a while. Now, if that's Jamar got him ejected, that's awesome. What? Both guys don't get ejected because Jamar didn't get called for a second penalty. Holy crap. He did not. He didn't start nothing. He was standing there. If you don't throw punches, that it does. You can say whatever you want as long as you're not doing nothing retaliatory. And that's not an ejection. There's the ejection right there. Smack hit the face mask right there. He didn't do anything. If they ejected him, that's BS. And now we got a timeout. I don't know what's going on here. It's getting even worse. No, they got warned and they were still locked up, and Jalen Ramsey decided that he was going to yank his face mask and punch him. I'm not saying that Jamar didn't run his mouth because he probably did. But if you don't retaliate, you don't get penalized. 1st and 10. Ball's now at the 29. Back to pass. Here comes pressure. Flacco fires it over the middle, and Fant gets drilled after a 5-yard gain. What a nice hit by number 29. That's Kyle Duggar again. He is a good player. I don't know why New England let go of him. It's better to see a game like this where at least you know that they're into what's going on than what we saw this morning. I'll take this any day over that Washington Miami game. Timeout. Cincinnati's had to use a second timeout in this half due to dumb stuff. We was talking this morning, that Miami game looked like nobody wanted to win. Nobody cared. It looked lethargic. It was just horrible TV. And then for that to be in front of 80,000 people in Madrid, Spain, for their first NFL action, I would have left feeling like I deserved more. That's the game today. That's the other one, that Tampa Bay and Buffalo game, because Tampa Bay is Baker Mayfield is just dangerous enough to ruin Josh Allen's day. And if Tampa Bay wins today, I think that puts Buffalo out of the playoffs right now. And if Buffalo does not make the playoffs, there's another head coach that you're going to be looking at might be needing a job. Let's go. All right, here we go. It's getting super loud in Pittsburgh. After the timeout, second down and 5 here. Flacco changes the play at the line of scrimmage, brings in more protection. 2 wideouts to the right. It's going to hand that ball off, and it's going to be third and about a yard. All right, third down and 2. Do not try to pack it in and run it here, for crying out loud. And they pack it in and run it, but they get the first down, thankfully. Good blocking in there by Noah Fant. Cousins is in for the Falcons. You watch, there's going to be retaliation. If it was me, I would be throwing right at Jamar Chase right now to see if I could instigate some BS. If you're gonna have these things happen, you need to go right back to the guy that Pittsburgh's mad at, and that's Jamar. He's going to have Porter on him, who is an emotional player. I take that back. It's not going to be Porter. They move him over into the slot. Back to pass. Here comes pressure. Fires it. Incomplete. Ball slipped out of Flacco's hand there, it looked like. I'm not sure. Intended receiver was Chase. Kitty. Yeah, I saw that Jordan Love went out. I didn't know about Josh Jacobs. Jacksonville dominating the Chargers at home today. Huge in the NFC, AFC West. Flacco's back. He's going to get sacked. And that's Herbig. It had to be because there's nobody else that's been playing that well on that defense. Yes. Now you got a 3rd and 17. Herbig comes in and he just dodges Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown does not get the protection there, and Flacco does a great job of holding on to the ball. 3rd and 17. See now, 12-20. That extra point so important that they effed up in the first half. If they have to kick a field goal here, no anything but a sack. Now you got another 5 yards onto that. Now you got to have some positive yards for that field goal, and that extra point is going to come back to haunt them, because even if they get a defensive stop, they're still going to need that 2-point conversion. Drop it off short. Goes for it all. Incomplete in the end zone. That was an overthrow there on Flacco's part. T. Higgins was in a double team, but he could have made the play. .48-yard field goal attempt in the Windy Stadium today that's been awful gusty. Snap, kick, and he snuck it in there. Stop being a terrorist. Now go take a nap. Yeah, Herbig is the only one that looks the part today. I think TJ Watt's starting to show a little bit of slowdown in him. Cincinnati is in need of a turnover. Just going to say that they've got to get one of their own to combat that pick six. A pick six would be amazing, but I don't think they're going to get that. I'm telling you, my picks for the pick'ems have been off. My gosh. Of course, I did pick Cincy today. I thought they'd be able to put at least 28 points up today. So now back to the point at hand. If Cincinnati loses today, there is no way in any stretch of the imagination that I would hurry up and bring Joe Burrow back. No possible way. I would not let him come back in, especially playing Baltimore. The only thing you can do is ruin your next year. Since he's down by 12, 9:41 to go, or down by 8, 9:41 to go. That 2-point conversion still makes me mad. And that one sails over Gainwell's head, goes through the back of the end zone. Pittsburgh starts at the 30-yard line, 35. That's where it started today. There's where they both got the penalty, and there's where Ramsey just got himself taken out of the game. Play action. Rudolph rolls out. He gets it to Gainwell, and Cincinnati was 8 yards deep. They're in some form of a prevent defense here that they cannot afford to go into. 7-yard gain. Josh Allen might win my fantasy for me by himself. Buffalo is back in the league. Christian Watson, another TD. 2nd and 3. Hand off to Gainwell. He's going to try to barrel through. He's going to be short of the first down. I haven't even looked at fantasy today. Let's see. Handoff, Gainwell. I think he got it. What is going on here? Fires it to the outside. Incomplete. Oh, wait, that's intercepted. Did that ball hit the ground? Metcalf goes out down the right side. Turner gets twisted. Second and 10. Rudolph's under center. 3 on the play clock. That should be a penalty. The noise is even too loud there for their own quarterback. 37-32 Buffalo over Tampa Bay. Jacksonville's about to finish that game off with a minute to go. Back to pass, checks it down to Washington. They're going to try to run over people. And this time, Dax Hill grabs him by the ankles, and it's the only way that you can hold that guy down is if you grab him by the ankles. 3rd down and 11. You're not going to tackle him high. Everybody's got to quit thinking that they can tackle him high. Dax Hill grabs him by his ankles. If you hold on to his feet, he can't go nowhere. Only as far as he can drag you. 3rd and 11. Huge play here for the Bengals. They got to get off the field. 8 on the play clock. Rudolph's in the gun. Wilson's in motion. Check, get ready to fire. Here comes pressure. Gets his check down to Gainwell. Gainwell's got a big lane, and he runs for a 1st down and then some. If he doesn't fall down, he's going to go to the house. Cincinnati is desperate for a turnover here. Horrible defense. I'm just going to say on that play. Handoff. There goes Caleb Johnson. He's going to be stuffed after a 2-yard gain. They're going to give him 3 on the carry. Jordan Battle is a little shooken up. He has been in the middle of a couple of tackles here back to back. I think he's winded. Hopefully that's all. Jordan Battle has had some tough tackles here in the last couple plays, and I think he took a pretty good shot from Caleb Johnson there on the hit. He's still a little shook over on the sidelines, has to come out for at least one play. Strained maybe his lower back. That's where they're looking at. All right, there's play action. Rudolph rolls out, and DK gets hit on the play. Everybody catches on and gets back to the deep guy, but not the undercut. So they run 2 guys on that rollout route. One goes on the post. One runs a crossing pattern. And the crossing pattern was DK. And that's a first down. And Jordan Love's still playing, by the way. Handoff. Johnson goes for the outside. If he can get away, he's got a lane. He's going to run it all the way inside the 10. Now, they call. Oh, he pulls it down. That's how he got away from. He'll learn. All right, 1st and 25. Ball's back to the 35. That was a huge penalty. Rudolph's back to pass, hits his check down. Gainwell escapes. He's gone. 10. Oh, saving tackle by Battle at the 7-yard line. I'm telling you, this Bengals team is just their defense is wore out. Just wore out. Listen, thanks. Scrub a dub dub. Steve's taking a shower. Scrub a dub dub. Gonna listen while I take a shower. What? Kenny Gainwell just about took it to the house. This defense is wore out. There's not enough bodies on there. And this Pittsburgh team, when they slowed the game down with Mason Rudolph and pushed the ball on the ground, then that just took this defense out of it. Now everything's available to them. They've done their job. They've worn them out. They're going to put it in the end zone here. I don't see any way they can be stopped. Unless I get a kitty jump up in my lap again. Coming up next, would you rather see Bo Nix and Pat Mahomes or Lamar Jackson and Dylan Gabriel? First and goal. The only thing that can save the Bengals now is a pick, is an interception or a fumble recovery. Need some help. Let's get a turnover. Rudolph goes to the handoff. There he goes to the outside. Gainwell is going to be cut off and will be stopped at the 5-yard line. No kisses, kitty. Second and goal. Ball is at the 5. Rudolph's back to pass. Got Gainwell in the flat. Should be a touchdown. It is. Kenny Gainwell scores. Pittsburgh has iced this game down 26-12. I will say this today is that this is the first half and the third quarter of this game is the best this defensive look has looked but they didn't have enough help from the offense staying on the field. And that's why they're completely worn out. The defense gave a good enough effort for them to win today. The offense has failed. And even Boswell gets the bank shot as he hits it off the left upright, and it goes in to increase the lead to 15 with 3:40. Here we go. Isn't it bad? Cincinnati's defense has given up. Well, actually, they've only given up 20 points in this game. Pick 6 offense cost them another 7. So What is going on? Thank you for being my shower buddy. Hey, no problem, Steve. If I could have thought of something really to make you uncomfortable, I would have. But, as a detriment to everything else that's going on, I decided against it. I really hope that Cincinnati does not rush Joe Burrow back onto the field. You've got to have some other reason to bring him back. 12 plays, 65 yards, 6 minutes off the clock. Pittsburgh just did a masterful job there of playing defense, holding Cincinnati to a field goal, and then deflating any chance that they possibly had by running a nice sustained drive for a touchdown. Need a tutty right now. Charlie Jones is hammered at the 30. Could have made the North really interesting today if could have showed up a little bit on offense. All right. Minnesota with 33 seconds has taken left in the game has got the lead against Chicago. That was improbable. All right, here we go. 1st and 10. I'm going to go like we're going to go down and score tutty here really fast. Flacco's in the gun, play action, looking downfield. He has protection, hits his check down, and that is Noah Fant, who takes a hit and goes down. Wait, he fumbled it. He fumbled it, returned for a touchdown. James Pierre with the tutty. Tennessee has tied Houston with 44 seconds to go. I seen him wrap up. Was his knee down? Oh, I don't know. It's close. I'm going to say that that's a fumble, and they can't challenge it. So 34-12. Bears are in field goal range. So, streaming both horizontal and vertical today. And actually, the focus more so is on the vertical of looking accurate. It's just how I've got myself set up on OBS. And Josh Allen just punched another one in. Go, Pack, go. Back to pass. Checks it down over the middle. Tanner Hudson is in, replacing Noah Fant. A little late for that. Green Bay does get the dub today over the New York Giants, 27-20. And Chicago wins on a last-second field goal, a la Skater said. And Houston's got the ball. Time is expiring in Tennessee. Chase Brown runs for a first down on 2nd and 3. Two seconds left in the Houston-Tennessee game. Obviously, they may be trying a field goal. We'll see. Flacco's back, fires it, caught to Jamar Chase. He runs for a first down. And Joey Porter's starting to, they're just getting it going again. First down for Jamar. If anybody has any interest this afternoon, I know Skater's going to be busy, but I'll be in here for college basketball probably at 5:30 if this game gets over with in time and I get set up, running the same format, trying it out. If you do get a chance, please just stop in and hit the like, hang out for a few minutes. I appreciate it. Definitely going to try to push things forward. And coming up pretty soon when Alex gets home, I think we're going to have a sit-down discussion on what's next, and you will see something new from us. Not new, just getting back to normal is what I'm going to call it, to some form of normalcy for her and I. So hopefully we get that figured out really soon. You guys are been really good about hanging out when we're here, and we hate not being here. And she's gotten some things under control, so hopefully we can be here more often, at least for Q&As and pick'ems and stuff like that. Maybe not so many games because of what her schedule looks like, but something. It's not going to be as bad as it was. Yo, what up, Rob? Like I said, I might be back in here. The dual streaming's pretty. It has a good value. Yeah, F the Bears. But congratulations for you. It would have been nice for me because then it would let me catch up with you a little bit. But 2 minutes left to go. Ball is at the 38. Flacco's back, fires it over the middle, caught by Tanner Hudson, who runs 9 yards. They're going to run into the hurry up here. 1:51 to go. Second down and 1. They're not in any real hurry here because I don't think there's much they can really do. They're going to try to punch this one in if they can. I just want to see the post game with Jamar Chase. Checks it. Oh, it's tipped at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, see, that's an extra win that Rob gets too, is because he's allowed to pick against his favorite team. I'm sure he picked Buffalo. I haven't looked, but I'm sure he did. You picked Buffalo today, right, Rob? You're all about winning the league. Third down and 1. Yoshivas is in motion. Handoff Chase Brown. First down. Good effort today by Chase Brown. 66 seconds left to go in this game. Hurry up, offense is going. Flacco back to pass. Fires it over the middle. Chase Brown for a 3-yard gain. With 55 seconds, stop throwing it for 3 yards. If you're going to do that, just kneel it out, for crying out loud. Take a shot at the dang end zone. Stop the clock. Back to pass. Looking down. Fires it. Hudson, 3-yard gain. Oh, he breaks a tackle. Third down and 1. 30 seconds to go. Throw it to the end zone. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Third and 1. That should be offsides. Throws it to the end zone. And fourth down is coming up. And I'm not going to lie, for you Pittsburgh fans that are out here today, Mason Rudolph looked way better than Aaron Rodgers in this game. It went to crap for us when Mason Rudolph took over. Now throw your check down and run out of bounds. Game over. Out of bounds. Try to throw it to T. Higgins. Bobbling as it goes out of bounds. The final score is 1-2-3-4. Cincinnati Bengals 12. Pittsburgh Steelers 34. No interception there at the end by Pierre, as he had great coverage on T. Higgins. Defensive line smashed him several times today. Skater, if you've been watching this game today, roughing the passer is anything you want it to be. 5 seconds left in the game. Rudolph takes a knee. Pittsburgh gets the W. Not going to go through any stats today. Not going to go through any of the rigmarole. Turnovers are the name of the game today. And the 2 turnovers today, the bad interception by Flacco for the pick 6 off his back foot, and then the fumble, scoop and score, manages 14 points for Pittsburgh, which keeps this game really, really close. If that had not happened, within 1 score, we would have been playing for a tie there if it wasn't been for the going for the 2 points after you take the point off the board early in the game. So long story short, let me know post-game in comments if you like the dual stream. If you do, say so. If you don't, also say so. I'm probably going to do it a couple more times. If you got any preferences or any ideas, please hit me up. Let me know. Much love to everybody, and thank you guys for hanging out for Cincinnati to get their butts kicked again. But higher draft pick. I think the season's over. And good job, Jamar Chase, and getting Jalen Ramsey to get himself ejected. That's awesome.